Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we've got another turn for you here with our casting of Mountain Arena, which is just the map that we're playing on. And yeah, it's turn 9. So as you can see, not too much action. We have a little bit of a bump here, but that's it. So we have a message from Miklin, more from the Flying Jaguar Circus. Oops, my only Eastern army was supposed to do imps last turn. Oh, only my Eastern army. The other was just meant to be transporting blood slaves for use in expansion this turn. Failed to check conservative gem usage. Not having blood slaves may be significant if I end up bumping Sauromatia, which he does. So let's go first watch, we'll go to the world map, but without ruining it, I want to see who wins this bump. So Sarmatia comes in. Now, we know the Miklin troops had a lot of strength. I don't think they had a tremendous amount of attack, if memory serves, which it doesn't always. Sarmatia taking no losses, and importantly, does not take any hit point damage either. That is important because, okay, 2 damage is it. That's important because the hit point damage will carry over between combats, and then we have Miklin bump into them. And there is a bump. Okay, here we go. We're going to look at the bless. I'm going to let you look at the stats, and then you're going to say who you think wins. Oh, he's got luck, though. Okay. Okay, I think we know. Miklin must win this, right? Oh, but they're not blessed yet. He's done luck twice because he wants to get that while they're in point buffing range, and he knows the blessing will go once they get in combat. He's going to cast blessing again. So he's got blessing again. So we've got half of, okay, we've got 2/3 of the Jags that also have luck in addition to the normal bless. They've got Barkskin, Strength 6, Defense 2, Attack 2. So their stats are 13 attack, 28 damage. This is going to increase significantly if they can kill one of these Oreopoda. They've got 15 protection. The Oreopoda have an 18 damage lance. This is a piercing attack, so 15 protection to an 18 damage lance is going to look like... three... I think it'll look like around 12. Is I think what it will roll, and then so it's gonna be 12. So 6 damage going through every time. It will block most of the bite though. The bite will be reduced to RNG, so we'll have to see about that. One thing to note, and this may end up being significant, we may be checking some of this if they die. The defense skill is very high. However, they don't have blood surge, do they? No. It's very high, but some of this is the shield. And these Jaguars hit high enough where they may be like... they may be able to, even with a decent RNG roll, be able to hit through the shield. I was just checking to see if we're having... I don't think there's any luck interaction until they get to the second form. It used to be it interacted in both forms, but I think now it only will stop you from truly dying. Man, they really could use this guy right on the front. Oh, he does walk forward. That's nice. They've gotten an 8 damage here. Uh-oh. The hits are going through. Oh, no. Okay, I think it's over. It's over. Okay, this guy, I mean, he's probably going to rout, too. Okay, there's a were Jaguar. Let's see if we have any luck interaction. Damaged by repel. No luck interaction yet. So I was gonna see if I'm wanting to know if this luck was decisive. And these other guys, I'm pretty sure you don't see any luck interaction until they switch Jaguar. Oh. 18 points of damage, Jaguar Warrior. And it changes to where Jaguar. So there was luck interaction. It does work on both forms then. Or does it only work on the first form? Oh, God. I need to... Some of the things changed with... I can't remember exactly what changed, but I know things changed since my Miklin build. And I took a late-age Miklin build based on luck. And I'm pretty sure things have changed, but clearly it can affect... Because this wouldn't have killed him, even in... Because I don't think it would... How much does a Were Jaguar have? Yeah, 18. It wouldn't... This wouldn't have killed him. Oh, well, we'll keep watching. Sorry that I'm getting mired in the details. Luck negated, otherwise fatal damage. This is a different tile, different thing. Luck negated, otherwise fatal damage. Okay, it may have been critical. It may have indeed been critical. You have to, if you have to pass a luck check twice to kill one of these fuckers, that's going to be pretty hard to do. They've gotten the commander now, so it's just a matter of time till they run. And by a matter of time, I mean it's going to be happening post-haste. Oh, this guy... Oh, no, he is lucky. Guess he's not really getting targeted that much. Okay, now that their stats are down from retreating... Oh, they're off, though. Yikes. Lost one Jaguar Warrior. I love how Miklin's committed to... This has been just... I'm telling you guys, I think this Miklin player is super sharp. And one of the things he's done that I'm going to try to learn from is just how he's using mages in expansion. Now, he probably will say, like, I learned that a little bit from you, because we used mages in, like, Imp expansion and, like, the All-Stars draft. But I don't know. He's got good research. He's committing cat mages. I wouldn't have probably done that. I probably would have been using little dinky mages, but these cat mages are able to drop luck. That was critical, I think, in this. If they got a few of the Jaguars killed, like these battles swing. It looks like a stomp, but if he was able to maybe kill off some of the Jags, there'd be fewer attacking them. You have less harass penalty. The defense is going to work more. This could have swung the other way if they weren't lucky. Spicy. So let's finish watching Miklin. That's what we saw. Anything else? They take this, some Wolf Tribe here. They're going to do pretty well against Wolf Tribe. Because Wolf Tribe generally going to kill low protection units. And these guys have a pretty good amount of protection. I don't think you needed imps here. Yeah, nobody even went to the second form, so that's a pretty good indication. The imps were a bit wasted, but, it's not a huge cost. And, yeah, so then the question is, you've taken this. Sauromatia probably doesn't have much of an army. This is a bit of a sticky situation for Sauromatia, because... There's a few things. They have a fair number of candles. They have 6, so they could get 5 Oreapata and one of these other guys a turn. Oh, but they've had a fair amount. Oh my god. Okay, so they're taking the Elephant Province. And that's it. Like, within that amount of time... Oh, none of the Oreapata died? Oh, it's just the archers are going to fuck them up. Oh, she's at -5. Okay. Okay, Undying. So lost an archer and lost one of them. They got squished. Okay, look, guys. I think and this might be a mistake because I don't know, like this may be stemming from something I did, like maybe they watched my Sarmatia video and I probably had him on guard commander. I don't love it. I have to go back and test expansion with these guys again. I feel like holding attack's probably a little safer. Or there's other weird stuff you can do that can be fun, like you put them all in their own squad. That's a thing you can do with like cavalry expansion where they're not going to have terribly high attrition. That way, if one routes, they're not going to route the other ones. And then you can also leave one to guard commander to run in with your sorceress, and she can come in like a couple turns later. I don't know. There's other ways to do it, but he's lost a lot of warrior sorceresses, which has kind of messed up his expansion. And that's the problem with guard commander cav attacks, which is a thing you can do. It's like definitely a thing. Is that a lot of times your commander tends to kind of get there first, and then it's a little rough. But the problem over here, so he's got 10 Oryapata here, he's got 5 here, and there's going to be 1 or 2 here. Well, he can go pick up these guys, maybe take a bit of a PD, and try to hold them off, but then that's going to slow him down from expanding this way, right? Because it's possible Miklin attacks. Like, Miklin is basically already has peace with Vanheim. So if Miklin attacks them, Vanheim could end their non-aggression pact with them potentially, but more likely Vanheim's probably going to look to pick a fight with Niflheim. But who knows? So we'll have to see what happens here, but this is a bit of a rough situation for Sarmatia. They have to make a decision. Do they try to defend this against Miklin if they attack? And if they do, you know, they're probably going to have to do a small PD dump, and this group's going to have to come and potentially get ready to have a bigger fight. I like that he's making archers. These Androphag archers are going to be pretty decent. I don't think I think they have poison resistance in the Miklin Bless. But, you know, archers in general are pretty good against Jags. I think even Jags with protection. They don't have poison resistance, though. Those Androphag archers may be key in fighting Miklin. But there's a bunch of things that can happen. It's hard to know how this will play out. Like, he could mobilize a ton of Inari. Oh, but he doesn't have Inari because he's been making Oryapata for expansion. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love this for Sarmatia. I don't love this at all. I mean, that said, these early game little jousty things that are going to happen around turn 9, especially since you're a long way from your capital, it's not going to be decided by a huge army, right? It's like a few guys, like 10 Jaguars. Like, what does Miklin have to support it? These guys are probably going to go take this farm, right? Because he wants to get that income. He could start bringing them south, but like, you know, it's going to be a while before we see a 40 Sacred army from Miklin. And a 40 Jaguar army from Miklin is not a huge commitment. So it's going to be interesting to see how we see this all shake down. We're going to come down and keep in this Miklin column, though. Which brings us next to Henna. This should go pretty well. These guys hit really hard. But these armor-piercing attacks from the chariots are going to do work on these guys who have really low defense and a decent protection. Yeah, he didn't lose any. Fun wagons rolling out this way. I would not be excited about rolling these fun wagons into this, though. Just because things like Trample's good against their protection units. You don't really want to get super swarmed, and I'm worried they could get swarmed in a big host of undead, though maybe they kind of don't come at them all at once. I can't remember exactly how these indies will approach you, because, you know, the horses are going to come first. You have to eat some lance charges, but you kill them. I think the rest of the Solus and the Long Dead arrive mostly at the same time, but we'll see. Henna, I'm not expanding otherwise aside from that. Just one expansion for Henna, is that right? I think it is. I think it is. That's too bad. Coming down to Niflheim. The Sniffle Giants. Wow. A lot of respect here for Cataphracts. But I think this is what I was thinking he would do, because you really don't... Okay, and he did sacrifice these guys for the Lance Charge. One thing you could think about here is if you're bringing 2 Niflheim Giants, I don't know if you need to sacrifice the army. You could have just left them behind. Because there are valuable siege chaff and stuff, too. I think if these guys, especially like Mirror Image, I think if they just get Skeletal Body off, they can face tank the Lance Charge. They may, you're rolling an Affliction chance, but with Regen, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, these guys ended with perfect HP. Like, was it worth sacrificing 4 Jotun Warriors? I don't think so. But that's it for Niflheim. They have... We don't see any sign of the... So this is interesting, because they have a really good... or a pretty good Bless, but they're not making any of these dudes. I've heard... I mean, these guys are really good in Cold 3. And not just because they get protection, right? Because you could just look at them as, they're going to have... I don't think it comes quite to 20 protection, but they'll be at like probably 19 protection, I think, in Cold 3. The thing is really cold power, right? And, especially with any stat boost like Blood Surge or something, they start becoming stat monsters in Cold 3. So I don't know. Again, his neighbors though are not they are not cold, they are heat. So it's going to be a very interesting position for Niflheim, where I think they're going to have to kind of be very careful playing on the offensive. Ooh, steel ovens here. Ooh, that is very spicy. That could go to Vanheim or to Niflheim. That is, I wonder if they both figure out that province is here. Ballenstallen, if you didn't, what if you go the whole game and don't know there's a steel ovens here? That would be some kind of karmic justice for you, for sins in the past. What is this, a lava lake? God, this is such a good province. All right, coming down to Ubar, they expand here with 13 Jinsa here. That is a big group. I didn't even see what Indies they're fighting. That is way too much. You don't need that many Jinsa here to take this out. You probably need like 8. Oh god. Yomi got attacked by Ettins. Looks like we have some free misfortune scales coming through. Oh god. Big scary Ettins coming through. Oh, he expanded here as well. Loses the rest of the pirates. These pirates, he really milked a lot of value out of them. Oh, this is kind of a lot of Wolf Tribe, though. We'll watch this. Once we get farther into the game, too, we'll switch to, like, more a war mode, where we're looking at, like, the wars, which will take place in columns. Like, it'll take place in the corridors, like, the vertical corridors in the middle. Because right now, as we go down a single column, like, vertically down it, we're switching to the different corridors because they open up to different sides. So basically, as we go forward, we'll probably switch to trying to cover like a war, which will be everybody in one little, communal corridor thing. I have no idea if that made any sense, but trust me, there was something I was trying to communicate. So I think he lost these to Archer Fire, not in melee. So a big pile of Jin taking out things. He might be gearing up. I think this is what is happening. If I were him, I'd be more worried about this, and then I'd backfill this. But it looks to me like he might be gearing up next turn to slam this with Jin. And the Jin will do pretty good. Like, if he has indeed, like, what was this, 14? Yeah, if he has 30 Jin he hits this with, this will just disappear. And he has a good chance to get a super valuable item from it. That said, I don't know. I would kind of rather claim frontier lands. But I guess he doesn't need that much. He's probably wanting to not be overzealous, pick too much of a fight, piss off neighbors early. So I don't know. he's got a decent foothold of his land right outside his little place, but he's not making any effort to control some of the more contested lands. All right, we're going to come over here and we're going to look at Lanka. Lanka has finally decided. The time has finally come. The stars are in alignment. The bones which he has crushed and broken and tried to read have said it is right to finally attack the elephants. So, the point here, this is overkill. Like, so there's good things about this that we can point out. Like, he has a great job. Ghana, because they're ethereal, make great elephant trample chaff. Right, so they get stuck in the Ghana and then he hits them. But these guys would have disintegrated him probably before the elephant killed more than one or two. You did want to bring a fair number of them, but this was kind of overkill. Like, you just kill the elephants and then you kill everybody else. It was only 4 elephants. Like, 15 of these guys would have murdered 4 elephants, and then they would have run back and murdered everything else. Especially if you gave them some Markata chaff to, like, distract the elephants. Markata actually do surprising, especially if they get, like, split up, they do kind of okay against elephants, because they have pretty high defense. And trample is a defense check. So, anyway, they've got this province, that's nice. And honestly, they have a doom stack, which they could probably march pretty damn near Miklin's capital. I mean, this thing is fucking terrifying. We've got 30 Ansaras. This is the scariest army on the whole map right now. So I'll be interested to see what he does with it. He has 2 options. He can come north, and contest a lot of this Agarthan land. Like, this would be really nice for him to do. He could also come south, but there's only 1 province to take if he goes south. Whereas there's potentially a bunch more to take if he goes north. So I think if he goes south, I don't know if he knows it's going to be dead-ended yet. But if he goes south and it's a dead end, I think he basically needs to attack Machaka. Though he might want to be more chill and maybe not start a war yet. If he goes north, I think that's fine. We'll come back and watch the Machaka stuff later. Yomi, they expand without losses. But this is a pretty tough combat. We'll take a look at the details. Okay, so it's a bunch of cavemen. They're not the kind of thing you want to send Dione into. He's casting Animate Skeleton. One thing I like, it's kind of just like a nice little detail. These guys were doing skeletal body before, right? But he's like, we don't need skeletal body because these guys have clubs. A lot of people, you would just see them cast skeletal body again because it's just their script, but he updates it to take it off, just to save a bit of fatigue, and so they can run in sooner. It's also real nice, he's got this Aka Oni in a square with him. Or Aoni, sorry, in a square with him. And he's sitting here spreading his fear aura. Yeah. I mean, the demons took a beating, but they're just surviving in their second form. I think that's kind of the thing with these demons is, especially if they're fighting stuff without magic weapons, as long as the battle just doesn't completely drag and you have enough stuff to do enough damage in a reasonable amount of time, like the ghost in the second form has a pretty good chance of surviving. Like, he only loses 1 long dead here. That's amazing. Like, watch this again. I'm putting fast forward mode. Like, look how much stuff from Yomi's side actually gets the shit beat out of them. Look at this. Like, half of these Kooni are dead in their second form, but none of them die. That's wild. Really cool. I'm loving this Yomi play. I like this a lot. It was a little slow out of the gate, as this build tends to be, but Yeah. I mean, that's pretty solid. And he's going to have a pretty good time against whoever he bumps. I don't know if you probably can kill these Ettins reasonably easy. I mean, they hit really hard. But 14 attack. They have to deal with the wolves. Actually, I don't know. Maybe you wait. I don't know. Actually, do not know how this would go. Because a couple... Oh, you have a second form. I think with the second form, you'd be fine. You do lose, I believe, the armor in the second form, but I think it would be okay. I think you have very good odds, but you could lose one, so it depends what kind of risk you want to take. Or he probably just takes this army. I mean, he could actually split this up, because I think the demons here would mess those dudes up. So he could send the Dione on a solo mission. That's probably what I would do. Especially if he needs to go ahead and have Alt 3. I don't know what's going on. But as soon as assuming he has Iron Skin this turn, you take the Dione, you send him down here, you take the other part of the squad, you send him up here, and this guy comes down. We'll see what he actually does. Coming down to Tirnanog. The elves. The elves are being very sneaky. So sneaky, in fact, I can't actually see what they did. They didn't do anything. Why is this guy in a corner? Oh, did the commander die, maybe? I think it was a case like an undying commander. So I guess he's got somebody going to pick them up. They stealth. There was an army here. I think they stealthed or something. I don't actually know. We'll have to see. Anyway, no news from TNN this turn. TNC, who has been doing excellent in expansion so far. They're losing a few. They're getting picked off here. He's calling ancestors, though. Yeah, he loses 3. That was a lot. I think that's actually because they got all spread out. And they were in a big box. I think they have afflictions? Is that why? Oh, no. So this actually, I think, was a downside of taking a Swiftness Bless. Is that if everybody doesn't get hit, which is what happened here, they got all strung out. Like they all have different speeds. And this wasn't... Oh, this was from an affliction. No? Yeah. Oh, no, this guy has a limp. This one... Yeah. I think it was just different times of applying the Bless. And they get split out. I don't know exactly what I would do differently. I think this is just kind of a risk of having a lot of Warriors of the Five Elements and only one priest leading them. And then we've got a proper army here with, okay, some mercs in there, but also a fair amount of the original starting army from TNC, it looks like. Hitting these horse tribe. And he's got these guys running on a flank. That looks pretty clean. What? How did he lose 7? Holy fuck. Like, who's died? Oh my gosh, he's lost a lot. Short bow, composite bow. Composite bow, so they're getting shot to pieces. I mean, that is the main weakness of these guys, but still. Composite bow. I mean, holy crap. These guys, I feel like, kind of... I mean, they're super glass cannon-y, and they're cheap, relatively. Well, that's not true. They're actually not very cheap. 35 gold. It's, like, pretty mid-priced. Yeah, damn. That was a lot of attrition. I would say an unacceptable amount. He is, because this is cold, he is going to be able to cross this. And potentially come over here and fight Hinom. I don't see any signs of, like, PD where they seem to think they're going to fight. Do they have... they have magic weapons. I don't think they have... Spirit Sight. Yeah, they would still chop up. he might try to try to fight Ubar. The problem with fighting Ubar is Ubar has a lot of archery, and archery's gonna fuck these guys up. I think Hinom in some ways is better, because like, especially if he's relying on tramplers, they have really high defense. So I'd probably rather fight into like Hinom, into giants, into tramplers, than into like massed archers, especially if that's the direction these guys going. The degree to which Ubar really focuses on the Jin, I think, is the degree to which he gets his ass kicked in a TNG matchup. So we'll have to see, because right now he has both, but it looks like he's shifting away from human troops, shifting into Jin, which I don't think will bode well if he ends up fighting TNG. I think fighting Yomi is actually tricky either way. I'm not really sure the best way to fight Yomi. I'd have to sit here and think about it. But anyhow, that's that. And that finishes the column for us. So, got one more column to do here. We've got Vanheim taking out these Zots in the back with way too many Van Heers. You will maybe need not that many, but I don't know. You probably need like 10 to... So 10 or 11 to kill this mini bone tribe without many losses. So they will be appreciated there, but this is way overkill for the Zots. You need like the commander in 2 or 3. This army has snuck. It is not on the map, because there was an army I think here last turn. So it is stealthy somewhere. I do not know where that somewhere is. It could be it's stealth moved here, so that it's going to pop out and take this farmland next turn, and then it can sail over this way. We'll have to see. I feel like Vanheim really wants to control this area, though. Or they should want to. It doesn't look like they're actually trying very hard. But that's it. There's not too much to see here. I'm not going to show you 18 Van Heers versus 10 Zots. Yeah, Lion Tribe taking out these Slingers. More Lion Warriors taking out Slingers. More Lion Warriors here. Presumably these Lion Warriors are going south and these ones are coming down. But he may choose to press his luck against Lanka here. If they bump on this province, these guys will get absolutely wiped. If they get wiped, that would be an excellent window for Lanka to start a war against Machaka, and which I think it's pretty certain that they would win. The Lion God is also in their capital. So not a lot of movement this turn from Machaka, but presumably there's going to be a good bit more movement next turn. And that brings us south to Sarmatia, which we already took a peek at because of the bump here with Miklin. But they take out these war elephants, and we watched this battle. They lost one commander. They took this out. This was pretty clean. So they were going for a triple expand this turn. And yeah, I think this just shows, like, Sauromatia, they can have really good expansion. Like, you can do one fast-moving expansion party a turn, but they can also kind of struggle. So that's kind of what we've seen. That was my experience with them, too. Oh, yes. Finally, Earth-made flesh, we have Agartha. God, I love this Pretender God. Look at this big, sexy man. Oh, he's put a black sword on him. That's new. I don't remember that being there. But that actually, I think, is going to help his attack. I think he had a fist, which gives him an attack malice. And so putting in that black sword is mostly useful just for the bonus, like literally for the attack skill on the weapon. You don't even really care about the damage or the magic weapon part. Because he's probably going to one-hit kill whoever he hits. Unless he finds like a limb damage cap. Which is a thing. If he doesn't kill anybody in one hit, we'll try to show you. Okay, there was one. So this would be, yeah, limb damage cap, right? So he hit him in the arm, exceeded maximum possible damage for the hit area, damage reduced to 5 points. Anyway, kind of cool to see that. Wait. I don't remember where the Great Elms were. But they didn't do anything this turn, which I think is a mistake. How do you have... Maybe they moved here? Okay. There's 30 in the capital. I feel like somehow there's a mistake that happened. I don't know what the mistake was. I guess he's going to take the ones in the capital and come backfill these. And maybe this one's going to go here and this guy's going to come down. I feel like there just wasn't great logistics planning for this turn of expansion. Like, he's not really set up to take any of this land with Miklin. He's also got to be really careful. He does not want his Pretender God. Like, if he sends his Pretender God south, it'd be like, oh, great. You really don't want your your Pretender God bumping with quickness on Asuras. They're, yeah, they're going to tear him to pieces. I don't even know. I think if, because he does, oh, he can do Moss Body. Like, once he gets Moss Body and Temper Flesh or Liquid Body, he can maybe tank them, because he'll also have Iron Skin. Before then, I'm not so sure. And before then, I'm pretty sure he can't. I think he basically needs Alt 4 to tank Miklin stuff. And by the way, like, Miklin can put anti-God thugs in their army very easily. And they'll be able to kill the god. So, I think this... I'm not sure. The good part about the Agartha Miklin, the Agartha Lanka matchup is Lanka doesn't have any way to get magic resistance on their troops. So the alms, if in sufficient quantity, could be effective. The problem is these guys have quickness, so they're not going to get many turns of blasting them with Mind Blast for that to work. And with a with a thug in the army, they'll be able to kill the god. And look, these guys are going to be hard to tank either way. It is worth pointing out that the Chillara will freeze them. So after the initial kind of pummeling they give him, they'll probably fall asleep and he won't get like super afflicted to hell, I don't think. But this is an interesting matchup to me. I'll be interested to see how it plays out. I feel like it's a Lanka favored. But if you get like 100 or 200 Great Alms and you have some way to screen for them, I could see it going in Agartha's favor as well. And that brings us back to Vanheim, which means we finished. I'll flash up score graphs real quick. Provinces, TNG pulling out into position 1. Very cool. TNN, who was in position 1 the previous turn, lay flat with the expansion this turn and is now tied for second. And we have a bunch of people in second. I think the other contenders are Ubar and Vanheim and Machaka. So a bunch of people up in this top cluster and then some people down here in the bottom cluster. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Tune in next time. See you then.